guys, it's Kitty with Ginger McGlam, here with Sloane, fashion designer here in Austin, Texas. We're here to find more about her, and we'll give you a little sneak peek into our chat. Hey Sloane, so tell us about your natural habitat.
So this is my workspace and my sewing machine and where all the magic happens. But yeah, I've got my collection back here. It's still very much in the works, but I'm really excited for Austin Fashion Week coming up. It's going to be super fun. But yeah, so I've got my shelves full to the brim of like sparkly things, really anything I would need, all my threads and all that over there. Yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know, my workspace, yeah, where I get all my stuff done.
And from that, like, where did you get your inspiration? Was Madeline like the sole person, or was there someone else?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think when, I don't know, well my dad does hair, and so like kind of my whole life, like, I don't know, he's tried like different things on me. Like I had purple hair for a while, and like it was really short for a long time, but I'm trying to think when we like switched over to red, but it just kind of like gradually became red, and then I was like, I really like this, and it just kind of, I don't know, I like the whole, I don't know, I thought it fit.
What's been your evolution from, I guess, when you were a child to now?
Yeah, well, okay, I've kind of always, I think, dressed a little unconventionally, I guess. Growing up, like, we would go thrift shopping a lot, and like growing up in Athens, the Goodwill out there was like totally magical, and you just never knew like what vintage kind of finds you would find out there. So we were in theater too for a lot of our growing up, and so I was never like afraid to just like, I want to wear this today, I'm gonna wear this, whatever. So yeah, it just kind of evolved. I love vintage, I love just anything. I like to make a statement with what I wear. So whether like you're kind of a character on a certain day, or you just feel like today I want to be like a 70s whatever. Like it's just like, I don't know, it's such a great way to kind of say who you are without having to say anything at all. Yeah, we were homeschooled, my brother and I, a lot of our growing up. So we just kind of, I think, had just kind of a freedom to kind of explore who we are, or who we kind of wanted to be or whatever, and I don't know, like not having to wear uniforms. Like we were in a prep school for a little while. We had like the plaid and everything, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of, I don't know, gave us a freedom to kind of just be whoever we wanted to be.
And that always helps when there's like, you know, your parents are involved and love what you're doing.
Definitely.
So.
Oh my gosh, my family is so incredibly supportive. It's just like, I feel so thankful for that. Definitely.
And when you were talking about thrifting earlier, have you ever deconstructed things and just made new things from that?
Definitely.
I see all these beautiful creations. How did you come to this?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Okay, what year was this? A long time ago. I was probably like 14 or so. Felix, my brother, was a big fan of Katy Perry, and he won this dance contest to meet her on her like Candyfornia tour. So we found out like 2 days before that we were gonna meet her, and we were like, we have to like put together some kind of outfit, like candy themed. Like we're gonna meet Katy Perry.
It's serious.
It's serious. So we went to Goodwill, and like I bought this just kind of base dress. It was kind of, you know, just like a basic dress, and I got all these Pop Rock packages and like emptied out all the candy, and then I just like covered the whole thing, and like so it was like this solid like Pop Rock mass, and then like made a little hat, and Felix made this this hat that was like a peacock, like her song Peacock, but it was like all made out of candy, and like it was so cool. But so that just kind of, it was like this kind of mini challenge of like, okay, we have 2 days to put together like these crazy outfits. So then it kind of just like gradually, like when we would go to shows like in Dallas, we'd just kind of be like, okay, like I want to make something that kind of fits with whoever the artist is, or like when we went to go see Lady Gaga, like that's when I made the Walmart bag dress over there. Cool. Thank you. I was like 15, and I was like, I don't know, just one day I saw like a bunch of bags in our kitchen, and I was like, oh, I want to make something out of that. So I like sewed them all. There's like 600 on there, and yeah, it was just kind of fun. But again, it was just like this kind of challenge to do it for the show. And so just when I listen to music, it kind of like it takes you to this other universe kind of. And so then like when I'm like envisioning this universe, then it's like, well, what would the people wear? And then it just kind of builds from there. And then I love, music is like, it changes cultures. And I think fashion and music definitely just like work hand in hand. This collection is kind of a different inspiration, but I have this relative, and she moved to New York in the 50s to be an opera singer, and she lived in this little one-room apartment for like up until a few years ago, and she recently fell and had to be moved to like an assisted living, and so her grandma sent us up there to kind of go through and like find the family heirlooms that she wanted to like keep and everything. So we did that, but just kind of my whole growing up, we heard about like Cousin Gretchen in New York with her cat, and she like lives alone and whatever. And so then going through like her whole life in these boxes, we just like discovered all of this stuff that we never knew about her, and kind of this totally eccentric, amazing life that she lived that we had no idea about. And so like she worked at the MoMA for a little while, and she was a model, and she like hung out with this musician. Like she had this secret like Japanese boyfriend who was a musician. And like, I know, all these little things. Like her dad was like the head of the Boy Scouts, and so there's like all these like pins from the Boy Scouts from the 50s, and like it was just crazy and like really inspiring to me. And so I kind of just like saw this whole like life of like her in the 60s and like New York and all this, and then just this kind of dreamy like vision of it all in my mind. So that's what this collection is kind of based on loosely. So we found like thousands of letters. Like she worked for an ad agency for a while, like designing greeting cards and things like that. And so she kept like every letter she ever sent. So there was letters and photos, and she had this cat named Tiger. Aww. I think she may have had multiple cats named Tiger.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I know, yeah. She was like obsessed, and like there was just like hundreds of pictures of this cat. And so I just kind of took all these little like eccentricities and kind of put like, okay, if she was like this dreamy like 60s, I don't know, like what would she be wearing? So that's what all of this kind of is. It kind of tells her story, and then I incorporated like a lot of lyrics from music I like or that I'm listening to right now that kind of I thought helped get her story across a little bit. So and then like she's very she's just kind of feeble and still very like glamorous, and we went to go visit her in the nursing home, and she's very intuitive. Like she brought up things that had happened in the family that we hadn't told her about yet that she like knew about, and she had this little stuffed cat that she was like, I talked to my cat, but the nurses think I'm crazy, and I was like, I totally believe you.
They understand.
I know, I understand. Yeah, totally. So it was just like really inspiring, and so I started working on this, and then when I heard from the production company in New York that asked me to show, I was like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. Like she lives in New York, and it's just kind of the right debut for it, I guess. So I'm working on 8 more pieces though for the Austin collection. So it'll be the same, but then with like 8 more.
Wow. Kind
of my creative process. A lot of times I'll like go to the fabric store, the hardware store, or wherever. Like I use a lot of like, I don't know, kind of unconventional materials, but I'll like find a material and then just kind of, I don't know, based on it, kind of see what it wants to be, kind of. So sometimes I'll be like listening to a song, and then like something will just come to me, and I'm like, oh, it needs to be this, and it needs to be this, or whatever. But a lot of times it's kind of an evolution of like, I have this trim and this fabric, and I like the way they look together, and so I'm going to make something or whatever. But sometimes it'll start with a lyric. Like I'll hear a lyric that's just like, speaks to me and kind of makes this vision in my mind, and I'm like, oh, I kind of see like the silhouette and whatever. So I'll then kind of sketch it out, and then just like start working on it. I like kind of thicker materials that kind of, I don't know, have kind of a life of their own. Like I was playing with this the other day, and I was like, I don't know, I just like really like the way it can just like stand on its own, and so I'm like thinking of what I'm gonna do with that. But I don't know, I like definitely unconventional materials, and canvas, like really thick canvas. You can like paint on it, you can do whatever. Felix does a lot of illustrations on my pieces, so it really like soaks up the ink and stuff really well. But yeah, I mean, it'll start with an inspiration, kind of, whether that's a lyric or a fabric or a photo or something, it just kind of like flashes this world, and then I'm like, okay, I know what I'm gonna make. Definitely kind of the beginning stages of kind of creating a narrative or a story kind of that I'm trying to tell, and just kind of putting all those pieces together and picking the fabrics and the looks and all of that kind of thing. Because then when I get down to sewing and it's like, oh, I don't want to put in another zipper, like, you know, that kind of stuff. But it's all fun too. But definitely just kind of building a narrative or something that I'm trying to get across to people. Kind of picking the music for Runway is like one of my favorite things too. I was working on that yesterday, and just like, yeah, I just love that. I love just like having this whole like little thing come together where it's just like an explosion of like music and color and just getting a feeling across. I like to just get that energy across and see how it kind of affects people. I think it's really fun.
After the runway, how does it feel? Because I know it's like you go off this high and then you're like, oh.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so then afterwards it's like I gotta pack everything up and I gotta like put it all away. When it's happening, I can't even like acknowledge like the show, so then it's like, oh, I can watch videos and like see how it really like happened. And I mean, it's always so fun just hearing people's feedback and like hearing how it made everyone feel, and like because people will get like different things from it, or they'll like certain pieces, or like if I don't really like my least favorite piece in the collection, somebody else like loves, and it's just like, I don't know, it's fun to just like in the aftermath like hear everything. And yeah, and then it's like, okay, that one's done, on to the next, like what's gonna be next.
Now, do you have any rituals that you do before the show and after the show to keep you on that smooth
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep it chill, because it can get very stressful back there, like just like getting everybody dressed, and it's very easy to just like freak out and be like, this isn't right, and trying to get the music, make sure they walk out at the right time and all that. It's very stressful, so I try to just like really just like try to keep it chill, and me and my family, they help. They help try to keep everything running smoothly. But yeah, I don't know. I try to take deep breaths. I listen to music. I like in the back room, I'll just like have my phone going, because that really helps me just kind of stay in a good place.
Now, what's next on the list?
Like things I'll make next?
Yeah,
or
collections, shows, anything you want to tell the audience. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Austin Fashion Week starts on the 15th, I believe. I'm doing a show on the 16th with Nine in the Sky Collective is putting it on, but the band Capiac is starting their own fashion line, and so they're having this kind of kickoff party for their line, and they asked me to be a part, and Isabella Rose Taylor as well, and I think a designer named Witch Doctor. So
cool.
Yeah, it's going to be at the Empire Control Room, and it's just going to be kind of this concert/runway show kind of thing. So that'll be like my kickoff for the week, and then my show will be on the 23rd, my Fashion X show.
And what would you say to someone that maybe is younger, that's watching, that wants to either do what you're doing or pursue something else? Because I know as a Virgo, like we're very overly critical, and usually like we're a little bit more harsh on ourselves than we need to be.
Definitely.
Behind the scenes, and everyone's like, oh, like they've got everything made for them, and you're like, no.
Yeah,
this took a lot of work, a lot of tears. My family has suffered too.
Oh yeah.
Lots of hugs and teas.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. I would say, yeah, just like whatever you feel in your soul that like you're supposed to do, just like do it. No matter what, like make it happen. Like whatever you have to do to make it happen, just like make it happen. Express yourself. Yeah, just like go for it, basically. Don't worry about what anybody says. Like, yeah, it's just up to you to make it happen. So yeah, to go for it, I would say.
There were any designers that you could like collaborate with? Who would it be first? I know there's probably a long list, but who's your must-have?
I love Alexander McQueen. Like, he's just just amazing. And then Jean-Paul Gaultier is amazing as well. I love Anna Sui. Like, she's so cool. I think of like modern designers, she's amazing, and I love her. The way music influences her whole process is really cool. I mean, Alexander McQueen, I think, is just like top of everything. He's so it's just like amazing. I love him, and I know I wish he was still like here, but yeah. His legacy is living on, but he was such an innovator, just like, and his work with like Isabella Blow as like his muse is just like amazing. I love her, but Probably him. Yeah, if I could like go back in time.
It's like, even though it wasn't so long ago, but it's still,
I know. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, his stuff is like, it's still very relevant.
Oh
like,
yeah.
With like Gaga wearing like the shoes and the outfits, and then people are like, oh, that's so weird, and then a couple years later they're wearing it.
I know, and it's like, no, at his time he was like groundbreaking, and still things that he's done are like, still haven't like, people just aren't, it's like still ahead of its time somehow, like, he's so just like amazing. But Jean Paul Gaultier too is like, and I love Miu Miu just like as a brand. They're so cool. Prada, Marc Jacobs. I love Marc Jacobs. He seems really cool, and his newest collection with like, there's a lot of like patches and like glitter, and it was like kind of movie themed. I think the show was in a theater, an old theater. It was amazing. I don't know.
I should have seen it.
Yeah, no, he's so cool.
Well, thank you guys, and thank you, Sloane, for allowing us to come to your natural habitat, and for empowering women and men and everyone else, dogs and cats alike. Everyone is welcome and fancy free. So I hope you enjoyed this, and take care. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out the other videos on my channel and follow me on social media.